this movie's getting released tonight, and all the reviews are coming in, and I get to look at my phone, and there's a review from the New York Times that was just like really positive, and I was just like, oh shit.
Hey everyone, I'm Anita Adams with First Weekend Club, and I'm currently sitting in Jason James's home. And
welcome.
Here we are. Yeah, thank you for having me here. This is really cool, actually. Jason has his newest film, his second feature film, but eighth feature film that you've made, and his second feature film is Entanglement. I had the great privilege of seeing this film at the Vancouver International Film Festival this past September. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it was really great. And I've known you for a long time, and it's been really fun watching the development of your career. And you're clearly really passionate. Clearly, really have a talent. I've known you longer as a producer, so seeing you move into directing and seeing such great work come out of you is, I don't know, I find it personally exciting. I know it's almost a little maternal of me, because I know so many people in the Vancouver film industry, and watching their careers develop, and I find it really exciting. Have you always wanted to be a director, or is how did you make that transition from producing to directing, and are you still producing?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been doing both as a producer and a director. You know, to me, I love telling stories, and when I went to film school. When I came out of film school, I was directing lots of short films and commercials and music videos, and then I had a TV series that got picked up by the CBC that I was the co-creator and producer on, and then I'm just always looking at material and really interested in telling stories. And I think when I was younger, it was to be a producer and to be involved in that, but not be the person that was, completely in charge of it. And then I produced 5 or 6 features, and then I just decided, I'm proud of those films and I enjoyed that experience, but I wanted to work on films that were sort of more my voice and tell the stories that I wanted to tell, and so I just made a concerted effort to just look for that material and develop that material and make that a priority. And so I've directed 2 feature films now, and I've produced 8.
Tell us a little bit about Entanglement, how that project came into your hands.
Yeah, my new film Entanglement is a magical, realist, romantic comedy about this guy who's sort of mentally unstable. He's having a relationship with this woman that's everything he wants and needs in his life at that moment, and he soon discovers that she may or may not be a figment of his imagination, and he has to decide between what is real and what is fantasy. And the movie stars Thomas Middleditch from Silicon Valley, Jess Weixler from The Good Wife, and our local favorite Diana Bang from The Interview.
So an indie film, typically a Canadian indie film, not a lot of money. We don't have to get into costs and whatnot, but I know that independent Canadian films don't have a lot of money behind them. You said you had 22 days to shoot.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. What was that process like? How did you prepare for this? So something you said to me earlier is that you have to really make those 22 days count. So let's talk about that a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've made a few movies and have a few strategies and techniques to get it all on the screen and make it, and put all the money on the screen as well. I think, and to me, I have lots of ideas about that, but one is just a really solid production plan and schedule. I'm a total scheduling nerd. I think that the way that the movie rolls out is has so much to do with a successful film.
You were telling me earlier about one of the things that you did to prepare, and that was bringing in students to walk through a movie.
Yeah.
So tell our audience a little bit about that, because I find that fascinating.
There's an apartment location that's reoccurring in the film that we come to a lot, and so we rented a house to act as the apartment. And we rented the house for a month, so I'd never had the luxury of having this location for so long. And so the director of photography and I went to the house, and we hired 2 acting students to read the script and to see where they would want to walk to. So much of when you're making a film is about blocking where the actors want to go, and that affects your shots, it affects your lighting. And so we just said, why don't we get a couple people to see how they would block the scene? And so they read the script, and we created our lighting schematic and our shots around where these acting students wanted to go. And then when the real actors showed up and we're on set and there's 100 people standing around and you've got a certain amount of time, the real actors, they ended up going to all the exact same locations, so I knew exactly how to shoot it. I knew where the trouble spots were. I knew, where the turnaround might be or where the lighting might not be as good. And so we were
that
just
really
super
saves
prepared.
on time, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Something that I was really struck by your film was the music that you chose, and there's so much storytelling that happens in music and the tone. You mentioned earlier that you put together sort of a bit of a soundtrack and an image when you pitched to your writer.
I wanted to do something bolder and something different, and so I worked with David Heyman, who's a music supervisor out of Toronto, and I just said, and he's a total music nerd. He loves oldies, retro kind of music from the 50s and 60s, like doo-wop stuff. And I just said, let's make the whole soundtrack sort of weird, rare B-sides of like doo-wop. And to me, it kind of stemmed more, the idea was that it stems more from Ben's character in the film. He's this guy that's sort of a bit of a Luddite. He has this kind of fear of being left behind, and in his mental state, the songs that we chose have this kind of decaying kind of handmade kind of quality to them, and we put that type of music in the movie, and it just felt more honest. It felt like it was coming from a place of character, and it felt, and a lot of the songs are about like loneliness and heartbreak, and I don't know, it just worked. It just felt right to me. So
fantastic! I absolutely love the music and the
it's kind of a weird,
really
crazy
cool
soundtrack.
Okay, biggest challenge on making Entanglement.
You always want more time and more money, but in this movie, there's 3 kind of underwater sequences, and I'd never shot underwater photography before. And so we rented out this pool. We were there at like 5 in the morning until 5 at night till 5 in the morning. And we'd allowed about half a day to shoot all of our underwater stuff. So I was like, okay, it's 3 sequences. I storyboarded it out with a storyboard artist, and it was 16 shots. And I tried to be as specific and prepared as possible. But then, you can prepare all you want, but you throw some actors underwater, and you've got a camera and scuba divers and all these safety people, and it's just everything grinds to a halt. And it took 2 hours to get the first shot.
What would be some words of wisdom that you can pass along, things that you've learned that might inspire a budding filmmaker?
Oh man, I think, to me, the best ideas come from new places and diverse places. And I think as fucked up and narcissistic as this business is, the one thing that everybody needs, whether it be a financier or an actor or a studio, is a unique story. That's like what this industry is built on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, you need to, if you want to find out more about some amazing films, sign up and become a member of First Weekend Club. Membership is free. We let you know about amazing films like Jason James' Entanglement. And subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch these videos and learn more about some of our amazing, talented local filmmakers. We've got some pretty incredible Canadian filmmakers, and like I said, I get so passionate about their passion, which is so good. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and subscribe. Talk to you later.